aware that there was one such as that.
You could be part of those
Perhaps
elaborate...
that is the fake, for I have evidence that this is mine, and I will pull out a letter that I have kept with me since the beginning.
Oh, right, the letter that you stole.
Yes, the letter that proves that it was in fact on a secret journey, and I can recount in fact the bandits that I stopped to retrieve it.
Right, which is hilarious, because there's no way you should actually have that letter, but it's also hilarious that it also is the providence that you would need. Because normally I would like, because the Lord like gets all upset, going, "Well, the sword's already here," but you know, it already arrived and already put up. But he has this letter in Providence, so I'll go ahead and look at it. I'm not going to make you roll because this letter of Providence is way too good.
Oh yeah, this is perfect.
And says, well, then the sword that we already have in there is a fake. How could this have happened? And that's when his wife is going to turn to him and say, I apologize, dear husband. I made arrangements to have a sword put up when the sword never actually came. I had another one put up instead. I had no confidence in that idiot that he was ever going to successfully deliver this weapon. How could you do such a thing to me? He says to his wife. That's the dumbest idea I've ever heard.
I would not put too much blame on anyone here. The sword was traveling in secret, and if it were to go missing, it is highly unlikely to have ever found it except by the providence that I had stumbled upon it.
Well, no one...
no one would be any the wiser had the real one not showed up.
Going to have to meditate on this, says Lord Cicada. This is an embarrassment that we would put up a fake weapon instead of the real one. But I suppose we could just go ahead and sort of find some way to save face.
You could have the old one stolen.
Go on.
And then have the culprits caught and use that as the impotence to put the real one back in its place.
Well, the timeline might be a little off, but the fact that it would look like it was rescued from a bunch of criminals, that could work. And both him and his wife look at each other conspiratorially and nod. Well, you so nice looking but creepy stranger. You speak from experience. Do you know any criminals who could handle this job?
I do not associate with criminals. They don't actually need to be criminals.
Just thieves.
Well, they just have to be people that will do what you say.
I do, in fact, think we do know a few people who, while not being criminals, would, in fact, do what we say. And look very much the part.
If you could arrange this, you would have my gratitude, and I'm a high-ranking lord in a important city that's important to the shogun.
Well, not as straightforward as I would have perhaps hoped. I shall do my best to make it so for you.
Then
Are you guys trying to rope me into stealing this sword?
No, no, we would never do something like that. We're trying to push you into a corner to force you to do it.
So, after agreeing to this task, all of you get 1 story point.
Ooh, story.
Because this motivates the plot. Very well, but it has to happen tonight before rumors about this spread and people can confuse the chronology. Also, I and my retainers will not disavow any knowledge of this. In fact, don't even tell us who's doing it.
Of course. I will see to the task then.
Koyama is going to hang her head and say, this is the worst idea I've ever heard, but the fact is that I'm sworn to uphold my new master and his other mistakes, and that this could potentially embarrass us both. I'll agree to go along with your plans.
I get the feeling I should go ahead and take the companion quirk at this point if I'm going to keep Koyama around.
Well, that's if you care if Koyama lives or dies.
Oh, well, maybe I do. We'll see.
All right, so you guys agree to this task.
All right. So now all we have to do is find the drunk Kazumi and Suzumi.
Also, the what's the title? Not like inspector. Person in charge of inspectors.
the inspector.
Who's in charge of them, though?
I suppose you'd have an inspector general, but the inspectors usually report directly to the shogun, so you'd have to go find the inspector.
Because remember, part of the tale that we're weaving here is that they get captured so that we can then have the real thing returned, which means at some point we're going to have to deal with actual law.
Oh, well, then the easy way to do that is Lord Sakai says, I am the law. I will go ahead and give you the services of my most loyal retainer here, Mineo Umura. Umura. Go speak with her from without.
I think that at this point Suzumi's ears are burning bright enough to light up the whole village.
Yeah, because I can't have the details about this. Go talk to them outside. Fortunately, my manor house is large enough that I have a little garden with that cute little gnarly tree next to the well that you see in many of these types of adventures.
So Byaku, how about you go talk to them, and I'm gonna go find Kazumi.
Well, maybe before we do that, we should figure out what the plan is first, before one of us says something to one of the others that doesn't gel.
Well, here's what my plan is going to be. There's going to be the plan A, where they will simply replace the sword and nobody will be the wiser and nothing untoward has to happen and nobody realizes anything has changed. The alternative, if they should be caught then, the plan B, is that they will surreptitiously replace the swords in transit and then you, I, and Koyama will stop them in dramatic fashion.
But again, the law has to be interacted in this process to keep the narrative as we've discussed, in which case somebody is going to get captured.
Right.
Or at least be known about.
Right. When they submit to capture, or perhaps escape, then I shall take them to the guard, and they shall be freed henceforth afterwards.
So which one of us are you volunteering?
That's the thing, we haven't really gotten a chance to talk with you yet, because we haven't found you, I don't think.
Right. And
well, when you have a chance to talk to Uemura, she'll says, it would make more sense, if I went ahead and captured the thief since I work for the local lord, and you guys are just random people off the street. Although you are Genbaru and a samurai.
That is true.
I think I'm the one who should make the capture, she says gruffly. Do you concede?
That I do. You are the local law, and it would make the most sense and be most reputable to the lord for you to carry it out.
She will stand framed against the black and uncaring sky and say, I can find no fault with this plan. Everything will proceed.
Very well, then. So, it looks like we have the blessings of the law enforcement now, so I guess Byaku and I need to go get Kazumi and Suzumi in on this.
Meanwhile, Kazumi and Suzume are in the bad part of Work Camp Town, which is basically the occupied space outside of town. So if you thought lighting was bad, just in places where they have paper lanterns, it's dark, it's hard to see, you're trying to head to the Lord's place, you're bundling around, and what should happen but as, Suzume, wow, so you're two people who left the most expensive bar, and one of you is so drunk he can barely walk. What should happen but 3 street thugs show up, armed with fists and clubs. And they say, well, we might be gamblers who are down on our luck, but it's turned around today. Look, you don't want any trouble. Just hand over all your money and we'll let you go. What does Suzumi and Kazumi say to that?
I think they're terrified into silence.
Looks like they're terrified into silence.
Go dream of bigness somewhere else.
Ooh. Are you going to try and tell them off using righteousness?
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead and make a righteous roll.
I am crappy at this.
That is terrible. Would you like to tell a big lie and re-roll that?
Of course.
Tell a big lie.
My friend here is a very dangerous ninja. He will destroy you if you ever blink at him.
I like the fact that's a lie. Right to Kazumi's face. Okay, go ahead and re-roll. Try to roll better.
I thought we were lying, the exorcist say.
A ninja. I heard rumors that there was ninjas in this town because there's someplace the shogunate. They're one of the gambler guys who appeared to be a little nervous about mugging people and stuff. He loses his nerve and runs away. But that's not a strong enough roll to make everybody leave. I don't, so one of the guys is going to come forward and say, I don't believe any of this bluffing. Go ahead and kill me. I got nothing to live for. Give me that money. And he'll lunge for you, Suzumi. Suzumi, how will you defend yourself? Do you want to dodge? Do you want to try and hit him with a weapon? Do you want to do something else? What would you want to do?
Just out of character, is he a minor character or a slight medium?
Oh, these guys are like weak sauce thugs.
Okay. I will attempt to smack him upside the head with my iron.
All right. So he gets close to you and you just go, forget this, and go ahead and make a combat roll.
Which I believe is initiative, yes?
No. Combat is actually, for you, it's Kikatsu, because you are trained in commoner weapons, and it adds all of your...
Ranto.
Oh, Ronto, you're a criminal, my bad. Ronto adds all of your story points. So how many story points do you have?
1.
All right, so you get 2 dice plus 1. Dodging is initiative. If you just want to dodge his attack, that would be initiative, plus you get your upgrade bonus.
I have an 8.
That's enough for a weak hit. Bonk. You'll fend off the first guy, and he'll fall over on his butt. The second guy, however, is still convinced that you have the money. He will come forward and engage you. Do you want to dodge or bonk this guy?
I will bonk him as well.
All right, roll again. That's a miss. So he will actually come forward and grab you. His action of grabbing you makes you take a setback point. How many setback points do you have?
1.
You must now roll 2 dice and subtract your setback points. So roll 2 dice minus 1 as he grabs your arm. Okay, that is a 5, which means we need to, unfortunately, you will suffer an impairment. I would suggest that we would go ahead and impair your righteousness because you're afraid.
Okay.
Okay, so, all right, so he comes forward and grabs, give me that money! And then he grabs you, which would, if he had more guys who could actually beat you up, that would be more impressive, but it's just him. Kazumi, you recover from your drunken stupor and see that this guy has grabbed Suzume.
Yeah, he's gonna get a kill him.
All right, you are you gonna kill him with the sword or kill him with a shuriken?
Shuriken.
All right, so you throw a shuriken at him.
Yes, so that would be sword hit points is 2 plus 2.
Yeah, that would be your ninjutsu, which is 2 dice plus your story points. That is a concealed hit. Because that's a strong hit. That's hit him with the shuriken and no one sees where it came from. So yeah, he'll fall over dead, killed by a ninja. The other guy who was defeated will run away.
And I will mutter, "See, I told you."
All he has is a club. So if that's all, he has no loot.
I really don't care. I want to go somewhere else.
Okay. Yeah. So those guys were just kind of following you from the club. Once again, some of this, like if you guys roll in the 7 to 9 range, it's like you guys get a success, but I start thinking of bad things that could happen. So because of all those 7s and 9s you're rolling, there were these guys like watching you. So no big whoop. You defeat them soundly. Kazumi recovers his shuriken, and you leave the bad part of town. After a lot more wandering and getting lost that isn't very interesting, eventually you'll run into Byako, Gambaru, and Koyama. They're looking better. And Koyama will point to Kazumi and say, "You look terrible."
Hey, Saki's really good over yonder.
I'm
Sounds
sure
like
this-
you took care of more than just business.
Yeah, Suzumi is light in the step and jingling in the purse.
Well, as it so happens, we've talked with the local lord, and it turns out we have a plan. How do you feel about stealing a sword?
Wait, what?
That's right. Stealing a priceless but fake artifact from one of the shrines. It turns out they're duplicate swords.
I repeat, wait, what?
It's all right. We've got an inspector on our side.
It turns out the local lord would lose face if the real one were to show up, so we have agreed to try to surreptitiously replace them. And if they can't be replaced without anyone noticing, they have agreed that we will put on a show of being captured and have the real one show up in our possession while we hide the fake one.
Oh, and a show of execution, I take it.
Only if you want.
Yeah, I'm not. It's really not. I mean, I do not plan on dying tonight. No, thank you.
Well, nobody plans on dying. Well, I
Well,
guess
there
actually.
would be no such thing. I assure you that there's no way that this lord would be dishonorable. Because I trust in authority.
All right, so Suzumi, do you want to go along with this plan, or do you reject it outright?
For out of character, yes, I will go, but I don't think so. Ganbaro so far has been convincing enough.
No, and the shrine itself, as you can see from the picture, I mean, it is surrounded by an enclosure, so there is open space, and then a closed space in it. But it is dark, so and the place is under construction, so it's not very well lit. So
Indeed.
it
There's
would be
been a
possible.
giant hole in the roof.
Yeah,
And I was
only
there earlier, and I could tell you exactly about it.
only
only
if
you
there's
had
a rope ladder to get
Yeah,
up
only
there.
you had a rope ladder you could use to climb more easily. But the skills of jumping around and sneaking around is either stalking, which is a ninja ability, or initiative.
Sigh. So what's in it for me?
Well, we'll be in the good graces of the Lord, and I believe we can use that as leverage for quite a bit of money. Or anything else we truly wish.
If you were a street entertainer, being in the good graces of the Lord could help out a lot.
Okay. Yeah, I have massive misgivings, but okay. I've done more stupid.
I've done more stupid things. All right, so you can go look at the place and case it out. What skills or abilities do you have useful in learning more about the shrine?
Personally, I suppose negotiation would be the best thing, but I am going to go with initiative.
Okay, so initiative, you're going to go case the place out. All right, so like look around and look at, yeah, negotiation would be asking questions about it, and that might be a little suspicious. It's like, so if someone were to like steal your precious heirlooms, how would they do it?
Yes, exactly.
All right, so Suzumi wants to go case the place out. What does anybody else want to do?
Keep the place out.
I'd like to
All
go
right.
talk to Umara. Umara.
I
Okay.
feel like casing too, so I will go with.
Okay, do you all want to make your own casing rolls, or do you want to pool together?
Pooling sounds good.
Pick one person to be the taskmaster, and everyone else assists them. Who among you has the highest initiative? Don't forget that Kazumi is impaired.
I am impaired, but I also have 3d6.
Which
Yep,
is
so-
worse?
I have +2.
And
Plus
Suzumi,
2 wins.
Yep. And Suzumi, you're the best assistant. So, all right. So, Gambaru, I'd like you to roll 2d6 plus initiative. Kazumi, if you want to assist, you will also roll your initiative. Suzumi, you will probably roll your teamwork, which is better at assisting.
Yes.
Is that good enough for a +2 bonus, Suzumi?
I believe so.
Yep. So +2.
So that brings us to 8, and what does Kazumi add?
Kazumi rolled 7 or better. It's another +1.
So we're at 9. I could pump it to 12 if I pop a story point.
With a 1, I will answer 1 question. With a 12, I will answer 3.
All right, I will go ahead and pop that story point. We have 3 questions.
All right, these are 3 questions, and also you get +1 forward on the answers that I give to these. So you go to case the place out at night. And also you can ask questions that aren't on this list, but these are samples that would help you get started. So the 3 of you like walk around, go into different places, look around a little bit, and then whisper back to each other what you saw. So someone asked me a question.
I like that. Is there anything here that is supposed to be here? One specifically in terms of construction equipment and ways to get onto the roof or into the building.
It's kind of weird because you were supposed to do the swap tonight and you think the local lord would help you, but you can't help but notice that different from when you were here earlier, there's now guards. There's more samurai here, and they're all armed with steel weapons.
Aha!
There's at least a dozen of them. If this was supposed to look good, or be a primer, why would there be guards here? And like I said, they're not armed with. Often you would arm guards with lanterns and clubs, especially 2 of them, so you can clack them together to sound an alarm. Nope. Instead, you've got samurai here with katanas.
Dun, dun, dun.
Weird, huh? Any more questions?
Yes. Is there any clear way to get on the roof then?
The easiest way, the way that would be least likely to be seen is there are trees near the shrine. It would be, in theory, possible to scale one of the trees, somehow descend from one of the branches and land on the highest point of the roof where there is a patch that has just been tarped over, but it hasn't been sealed yet. That would be the way that you think would evade the most detection, because it would be the farthest away from any sentry points and is also ridiculously difficult. I'd also like to pause. That also looks ridiculously difficult. Another way would be that since the guards, they don't appear to have coordinated their patterns. They appear to just be standing in certain places. They're not moving around to guard the place. They look like they were hastily put here, as if someone just told them to go hang out here.
So a lot of openings then.
Yeah. So there would be openings. Well, there would be openings you could sneak through. That would be a large series of rolls. That would be a countdown where you'd have to pass several challenges and try not to screw them up. You could also make the daring leap off of the roof. Those are the two ways I can think of to get in. You guys got a third question.
Tough questions. I'm starting to think of anything. What about you guys?
I feel like the best option would be to go somewhere, start a fire, and then use this as a decoy.
So would your question be, where would be the best place to put an arson distraction? Because if you ask me that, I'll give you +1 to do it.
That sounds like a good question, actually.
Yeah, because now you get 3 questions and you get a +1 forward bonus. The first roll you make to actually pull this off gets a +1. So yeah. Well, you'll look around and think, well, we could probably start a fire. There's a pile of lumber over there that hasn't been lacquered yet. So that's a fire hazard. If you were to set that on fire, that would be a huge distraction.
So then, I guess that means that our 3 questions were that we got answers to were like guard patterns, leaping on the roof, and arson.
Yeah, and making an arson distraction.
Right.
Like the weird part is it's an arson distraction, so you'd want to set it up so people would see that everything was on fire and respond to it quickly, rather than an actual arson you might want undetected.
Right.
Not that you guys are expert arsonists. Also, if you do that route, be sure you do it very well. Arson is punishable by death. This whole could burn down the entire city thing.
Yeah.
Byakko, Umera is not in any obvious place. What skills do you have useful in finding Umera?
Well, I am unpredictable.
Yes, you are.
I
So
could just be where he is unpredictably.
You could use initiative to find him, or you could dip deep into the Maho sorcery to just try and be there unexplained.
I wasn't even thinking that, but now that you put the option on the table, let's see if I can unexplainably just be there.
Make a roll.
That is actually a 16. I currently have +4. I have 2 setbacks and I have 2 support points.
And you have an event.
And event.
Okay.
Well, I set the town on fire so that I would have the inspector beat me here. I joke.
Okay, well. So, Byakko, I can't help with the 16, so you go to seek out Umera. And of course, Umera will be at a different shrine, one of the ones that is partially under construction, as Umera is lighting Moxa. And of course, because you rolled a 16, which is a super grand roll, Umera will have to be talking out loud and saying, I have to pray that... I wonder which samurai is more loyal, the one who serves a bad master or the one who serves a good master. But no, I've taken it up on my own initiative that since my master is a fool who fell for this other imposter, that today I'm praying, to the gods themselves, so to forgive me for what I'm about to do, but I can't take the risk that these bandits, these random people off the street, can actually pull off a mission like this. Better to just kill all of them. And then Umero's like gonna have to turn. Wait, Bayako, how long have you been there? How much have you heard?
Enough. I've heard enough.
Well, then you understand I can't let you leave this shrine alive.
And you understand that I cannot kill you.
That will make me killing you so much easier.
As you say.
All right, so yeah. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and put Umera will rise, draw her sword, and run at you. What do you do?
I would like to use my Maro to incapacitate. Is that an option?
That is. Don't roll doubles.
Okay.
So you're going to go ahead and cast a spell on them. This is a violent spell that I am resisting, so it will cost a setback point.
That's fine.
Magic in a Shinto shrine?
I have rolled a 17.
And no doubles, huh?
And no doubles.
Sad. Okay, because if you had rolled doubles, those would be amazing.
Hey, on 4 dice, it was possible.
You've seen it before. There's always the striking numb where you.
Oh, I'm sorry. It is an actual 13. There's a 1 in there, so it's a flat 13.
It's still a grand hit, which will still take me out in a single hit. So, yeah. So, she'll pause and become stricken. You suffer a setback point. Make a setback roll.
Unpredictably. That is a 9. Mine is
nothing.
3, actually.
Oh, why is it 3?
I have 2 setbacks already, plus 1 from the Maho that I just used. So, -3, right?
-3, so it's 6.
Yes.
Okay, I believe that's impair one thing. So, what do you want to impair?
So impair the Maho again, why not? Majutsu.
Okay. You did cast a spell in a shrine.
Yes, and we all know that's just not done. I'm paying for it in my spirit. All
right. What did you... Well, they can't actually say anything. They just do the ... thing. So yeah, you have struck their body numb and hypnotized them. What are you going to do with them?
I feel like... Are they on the ground, or are they just standing frozen?
I think they were standing frozen in a paroxysm, a twisted paroxysm, bent slightly backwards.
I feel like my lip is curled back in sort of a sneer, and I'm doing that thing where you roll your tongue over your canine tooth and what do I do with you now?
The spell will end after 3 a.m., which is when the hour of witchcraft ends.
Yeah, but it's only just started good nighttime, so I've got time to figure this out.
You got a couple hours.
Yeah. Question. Is my magic able to make somebody tell the truth?
No, you can't actually compel people to do things. There's no mind control and stuff. You can paralyze people, but not because Kappa do that.
Right. I mean, so the idea being that I could get this guy to but then I couldn't make him tell the truth. So he could lie his ass off, and I'm a peasant, and he is a samurai. Sorry. I keep getting confused because we have Amura, who's on the other side next to Nishi, who was a guy. And now this is a female Amura. It's in my head still.
Yeah. That's why I put the symbol on. I need to drag one out.
Yeah.
You could just leave her here because she was going to go back to the other shrine to do stuff to you people.
Yeah. I can't, though. I mean, I understand, but at the same time, this is a pawn, or this is a piece in a chessboard that can be very well... Sorry, this is a piece in a go board that can be very well useful.
Well, do you want to intimidate them and make them try to confess?
Sure. I think I would like to use my Maho for that, though, still. No,
use your righteousness for that, but I will give you a +1 because you used Maho on them.
Oh, because I was thinking of casting some sort of illusion.
No, you've pretty much shown that you can paralyze me with a spell.
Okay. Also, I have all these bonuses to my Maho. Alright.
Can't do everything with magic.
Yeah, but I can do everything with unpredictable!
So do you like tell them you'll confess to this or bad things will happen?
Yes. Do as I say, or I will feed your spirit to my jar. The jar contains the soul of my dead wife. Let me tell you my tragic backstory, and you will weep
Oh my god, you
tears.
killed your wife too?
You will weep tears. Tears of blood.
Yes, and we can pad out the anime by slowly panning over your face as you tell a long story.
And the 15th recollection of my backstory.
We paid for that footage. Got to reuse it. Yes, and I suppose after telling Amara that, you'll just leave, go join your friends.
Well, I need him to do this. So
even though she is paralyzed, she concedes to every part since you rolled a 16.
I can see it in her eyes. Well, then can I drop the paralysis?
It'll expire at the hour of the ox.
Oh, so it has to go its course.
You've spelled them until the witching hour ends.
Okay, well then.
Or
I
until
guess...
you drown them in your pool. But I don't think you're that kind of person.
No, I told them that I couldn't kill them. I didn't say what I would do to them though. Well, I did in the intimidation. But yeah, I guess I'll rejoin everybody else once I know where they're at.
That was pretty badass. Since you guys went ahead and did some sorting and other kind of things, I'm going to give everybody a +1 story point.
Nice.
This caps at 3. Is anybody at 3 yet?
Only 2.
Okay, cool.
I have been spending mine for this specific purpose.
Right. Right, and also the way the game is supposed to work, anytime like cool things happen, like beats in the story, I'm supposed to give you guys story points. So to encourage you guys to go through these things. Okay, so you get back to Byako joins the rest of you after your reconnoitering. So are you going to set the arson, try to do the daring leap off the roof, sneak in somehow, kill everyone inside? What are you gonna do?
I feel like the simplest thing would be to split up into 2 groups. Someone sets the fire, and I know for certain that with these guard patterns and with my assistance, I could get in and get out.
I suggest no fire at all. Fire is a crime punishable by death. I suggest the illusion of fire.
Byako's volunteering to make it look like an arson.
But with no lasting
feel-
effects and no actual fire.
Then I
I
will leave
feel
that
that's
onto you,
the best.
Byako. I trust you implicitly.
Right. Now, Suzumi could help with that because not only they're good at bluffing, so they could, oh, look, it's a fire. That's totally a real fire. Oh, no. Won't someone help us?
So then it
That's
could
a
be
good
me
idea.
and Kazumi then.
Yeah. Well, also, Suzumi is good at making a scene because that is her actual job.
Yes.
Okay. So it sounds like Byako, I'm going to put you guys in the exposed blank because you're a distraction. So by definition, you'd be exposed. Okay, so your team distraction. What are Kazumi and Gambaro going to do? You guys going to try to sneak in?
Yes, we our team actually have the stalking ability.
Are you going to take the hard route? Are you going to take the difficult, daring route on the roof? Or are you going to try and sneak in while through the blind spots where everybody's distracted?
I think we have the better chance of sneaking in. And
All right.
since I have and my shadow, I will bring Koyama with us in case trouble
Oh,
happens.
you bought that ability. All right.
Yes,
yeah.
I did.
Shadow allows you to bring one friend with you, and they piggyback off your rolls.
Yes.
Koyama says, sure, you only live once. Okay, so Byako and Suzumi go off to create a distraction. First, Byako, you will get +1 on this because Suzumi has already cased the place out, and I assume Suzumi will assist by saying, oh, look, a fire, it's so dangerous and real.
Yes, I will.
Okay, that's a teamwork roll. You're lying. Would you like to re-roll that teamwork roll?
Yes, I will.
Suzumi, a little more energy, if you
A
please.
little more energy. What's my motivation in this scene?
Yes.
That you're on fire. Right. Oh, it burns. It's so real. Now, the tricky part, ghost lights are easy. The tricky part is making fake fire. Because you want people to run towards the fire to put it out, not, oh my god, it's a ghost portal to hell, and run away.
I guess that would also serve our purposes.
Well, people will usually run into the shrine when the ghost portal to hell opens up. So no. Byakko attempts to create an illusion of flame.
Alright, so I got +3 from Suzumi, and +2 from Suzumi, and +1 from the narrative from before.
From the fact that they thought it would look good. This is the good spot. So that's +3.
Alright, and I have, since this is Maho I'm using, I
Yeah.
already have +5 from that.
Yeah.
So I have +8 total.
Don't screw this up.
Yeah, me who's rolled -16 before. Let's see how unpredictable we can get.
And your Maho's impaired, which means you roll double, something bad happens.
Yes.
Because you've been...
An actual portal to hell. Hey, devils!
That's double.
Question though, what would happen if I use renewal right now?
Renewal you'd spend a story point.
Right.
So that would raise it to 13, which would raise it from strong to grand.
Well, actually, it'd be 21 at this point. Because remember, I've already +8.
Oh, well, it's already grand. So it would 13 or better is the max.
Okay.
So really what you would just be doing is you already rolled doubles on an impaired roll. So something bad's still going to happen to you, but you could still spend the story point to remove the impairment.
Well, no. I mean, yeah, to remove the impairment so it doesn't retroactively before the consequences had.
Right, the consequence is still going to happen.
Okay, well then never mind. I'm already in grand or better territory.
All right. So Suzumi is probably standing there saying, oh no, look, it's a fire. I think it's on fire. Whoosh! And this scares the crap out of Suzumi. Because wow, that's really real.
Suzumi, can you get close to the fire? Is that...
No, thank you, no.
Just rub a little on yourself, it'll be fine.
Okay.
Just worried that it might be real.
Well, this is going to get complicated in a bit. Whoosh, the fire goes off, which is the clue to, Byakko and crap, I lost Kazumi. No. Oh, that's right. You guys are back there. All right. So Kazumi and Gambaru, this is going to be a countdown. We're going to go ahead and have to get rid of 3 sneak points to get in here. So weaks remove 1 point and strongs remove 3. So I'd like, first of all, you guys to go ahead and make sneak rolls. Or
All
stalking rolls.
So we have our +1. Does the distraction add any more, or just allow this?
The distraction will definitely add another 1.
Okay. So I'm
Well,
already at +4 then.
Plus also on compromises, it will reduce that. Right. So go ahead and roll. I don't think you guys can actually fail this. You're Frosty.
Incredibly.
Whoosh. And Koyama piggybacks off of Gambaru.
No, don't step over there, over here. Yes, perfect.
Okay. Yeah, so the 3 of you will go inside. Suzumi is, oh, no, it's a fire. Suddenly, a bucket brigade shows up. It's yeah, we've actually been, training for this because it's incredibly unsafe conditions. So, well, we're actually been waiting for a fire to break out. Not that we actually wanted it to happen. Anyway, here's a bucket.
I will join the bucket brigade.
All right, a bucket brigade forms. Byakko, you're standing here in this flaming column. You have an untoward event, though, because what at first you might confuse for a paper lantern shows up, but it's really a floating head that looks like a paper lantern.
Oh,
And it's going to confront you, Byakko, and say, you who reach, how dare you abuse the beautiful power of fire for stupid parlor tricks when you could actually be using it to give people the glory and obeisance to our world they should understand. You're a terrible person and I hate you. You should die. I'm going to kill you. How are you going to stop me from killing you?
With the very same forces they seek to deny me?
Okay, well, you could also attack me with a weapon.
Yeah, I could, but it doesn't seem to be my style.
Well, attacking me with a spell is a setback point.
It is.
All right, bring it.
Alright, I will attempt to conjure, I guess, actually, water from the air?
Yeah. You would do water or lightning.
Let's see, -4 turns that into a 7, +5 turns that into a 12. I will story point that to make that grand or better.
That grand will kill me instantly. You get a setback point. Make a setback roll.
I imagine it's like a hand wave. I deal with you before breakfast.
Whoosh. Mightier in the supernatural world. Yeah, that's hubris. That's not going to come bite you.
Until I pass out in the street.
That's a 5, right?
That is a 5. Unless... Can I story point this one as well?
You can story point this one and remove an impairment.
Story points maximize at
3.
3. Okay. Can I pass that along?
Well, also, guys, don't forget when you spend a story point. I forgot to point this out. You get a story point. You spend a story point, you get a support point. So every time you spend a story point, you get a support point.
That's why I do it, because my Maho is based on support.
So just as a reminder, some of the other characters.
But can you pass that along? I forgot.
What do you mean pass that along? You mean give them to other people?
Yeah.
No, not unless you have a special ability.
Okay, I don't.
There are special abilities that let you do it. You don't have it.
All right. Well, I go to 8 on my impairment roll then.
Okay. 8 is...
And
nothing.
I have removed impairment to my Majutsu.
Right, but also that adds another setback point that doesn't... So what are your setback points up to?
Oh, right. No, that's not 8. It's now 8 minus 4, which is now 4. I'm back to where I started, one less.
Okay.
My impairment roll is 4.
All right. Well, 4 is not 3, which is important. 4 to 6 is impair one of your attributes. So I'm going to go ahead and impair your righteousness because you've been tampering in a different domain.
Oh, sure.
And-
So my reaction was more out of immediate fear. I freaked out and did this.
And if you have more than 3 setback points, drop the total to 3.
Yep.
So you're down to 3 setback.
Done.
All right. Yeah, when these trigger, they cap it at 3. So, okay, so yeah. And there's more sparking in the column of illusionary flame. That was probably an illusion and not a mystical battle between 2 supernatural entities.
Who would imagine such a thing?
Well, Suzume might. Suzume, you're combating a blaze that doesn't really exist. I guess you can make an initiative roll.
I will.
Meanwhile, inside, you guys have grand rolls. You guys will sneak inside. The shrine itself. Avery. Suzume. You're not doing the best job at working in a fire brigade, but you look convincing, and that was and also everyone's like, no, it's totally real, and everyone's helping you. The water doesn't seem to be dousing the flames. We just need to douse more water.
Yes, more water needed. More people.
People are buying it. So, I've never seen flames that were like blue and howled like hell before. I knew we shouldn't have used hell wood. It was so much cheaper.
All the man wanted was beans.
But the 3 of you will sneak inside, and not only have you snuck past the guards, but there's no one here to confront you and betray you at the last minute because they're paralyzed somewhere else.
Wow, fantastic. Well, I have this real sword, and there's a fake sword there. I think we could just swap that out and leave.
You can do that. Now, you can see the fake, and the fake sword, which is on display, is pretty impressive. Are you going to leave the real one here, or are you just going to... you're not going to keep this Masamune sword, right?
No, I'm not going to keep the real one.
All right,
Real one is on display now.
you'll go ahead and make the swap, and then sneak back out. By chance, the fire stops after you guys are free. There's nothing here, but just this weird, creepy guy who's also soaked in water because we've been dumping buckets on him. Are you okay?
Free bath.
Free bath. Hooray! We saved the wood pile and creepy guy.
I think I'm gonna go home now.
Looks like you smell like a wet dog, and your righteousness has been impaired, so you look extra pathetic.
Which is good for slinking away.
Hooray! Thanks, random stranger, say people waving at Suzume, for warning us about the fire before it could get too bad.
She was never seen again.
Okay. Is Suzume back?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. I was just saying, like, the people, thank you. They were thanking you. Thank you, stranger, for letting us know. If only we understood some sort of process where stacking wood on top of each other and leaving them all compressed in tight airspaces somehow caused some sort of spontaneous combustion. Alas, the knowledge of this eludes us.
Oh dear, yes. I guess I must now go and grieve the... never mind, I will just go.
Okay. I didn't know if you want to milk this for publicity because you're a street entertainer. Suzume, the non-arsonist. Can other entertainers make that claim?
I would try to avoid this kind of publicity.
Okay, so yeah, you'll slink away with your sodden friend. Yeah, and the five of you can reunite. Unfortunately, there's no one here to capture you for doing the swap. You could, because they were going to betray you, you could just, now that you made the swap, just leave town? Do you want to tell the Lord you did this? What do you guys want to do?
Well, we've got to tell the Lord. If not that we've done it, that Umara was planning, betrayal.
Do you want to do this? Do you want to do this now, or do you want to wait until dawn?
Probably best to do it around the hour of the ox, if possible.
Yep.
That way we can be there when Umara shows up to see if it's a samurai of her word or not.
So you want to have dramatic timing?
That would work for me. I don't know what works for everybody else. I'm just voicing.
Well, what does everybody else want to do?
Well, we're already awake. Dramatic timing sounds fun to me. It sounds like that you have something on your mind, Miyako, that you haven't told us about just yet.
I assume that I told you all about the same time that you guys told me about the arson.
Oh, well, he comes back in and tells you about it. So I assume that the skill of dramatic timing is initiative. So who is going to take the initiative?
How about me?
All right.
And because I can, I'll throw story points onto it. 11.
Wow. Okay. Well, so you hang around to wait to confront the Lord, but instead of Omera showing up, it will be one of the other samurai that show up to tell the Lord and say, "Lord, there was a fire at the shrine, but it was quickly put out." Oh, well, what about this thing with did anybody steal a bunch of stuff from the shrine or anything? It was like, we didn't see anyone. And other tragic news. Umera has been found dead in her home. She's committed ritual suicide. Why am I laughing?
I'm going to whisper over to Gambaro. Don't say anything about Umara.
Yeah, and then you guys can barge in. Yeah, she committed suicide. She had this note. It's full of bad poetry. Oh, why do samurai write bad poetry before they commit suicide? We're not supposed to say it's bad. We're supposed to honor the memories. I'm sorry. Why did she write this adequate poem that doesn't confess to anything?
Truly, this poem represents her inner soul. It makes me feel pain just reading it.
Why, Gambaru and your crew. Do you have any idea why Omera would do this thing after she agreed to help us with our plan?
None. It's a great tragedy. You have lost a powerful servant this day.
Well, that is tragic, but I'll make a note here that someone attempted to steal the sword, but didn't. Since I'm a lord, everyone will believe everything that I say. Then your arson thing sounds like it was a good cover-up for that. And if anyone does come to investigate, they'll see the real sword is there and not our imperfect forgery.
Indeed. It seems everything has worked out quite well.
Well, not quite well. I had to exile my wife.
Really?
Unfortunate, but... Well, at least the sword is in its proper place now.
Well,
where did
And
she get
honor
up
has
to?
been restored to your lordship.
well, traditionally you exile them to a Buddhist nunnery.
Ah.
Actually, that's what Chinese do. I'm going to have to look this up. A Shinto shrine. It doesn't matter. The fact that all of my henchmen, it's been terrible that I can't trust my own underlings to help me conduct business as something as simple as just putting a sword in a shrine. The fact that the place is laced with corruption and people blinded by their own pride to do all of this and not understanding that loyalty, justice, and honesty should be the right path and their own rewards. I'm indebted to all of you, especially you, Ganbaro, a fellow member of the aristocracy.
Truly, we follow the same path of justice together.
I must reward you with material goods and my hospitality.
Of which I shall greatly enjoy. You see, my wallet's been a little empty lately.
In fact, I can also, let me reward you with that and shower you with gifts and praise. And another story point.
Hooray.
So, the bizarre return of the sword. And I guess we have a forged katana, so I don't know if anyone needs another katana.
You know what? I need a katana. I'll have a katana.
You're gonna fight with two katanas? Fighting with two katanas is actually a thing.
Well, I only have the, what was it again?
The Naginata?
Naginata, yeah.
Wakasashi?
Okay.
Yeah, and I have the Wakazashi, I just didn't have a katana, so I was like, oh, hey, I have a replacement one now.
Okay, you can fight with the Daisho, the long and the short.
Yep.
Two sword fighting was traditional, which is also kind of weird because Miyamoto Musashi, who Usagi is named after, didn't actually always fight that way. But then again, crazy. I think this is actually a good end point in the chapter. So you guys dealt with this with aplomb. So once again, it's a playtest game. So we spent some time doing the setup, kind of that. And we're weeding out some of the caps here. What do you think?
Still fun.
Indeed. I think our experiment today was what happens if you have a longer session? And the answer is things go very, very well.
I agree.
It is possible still for us to have failed despite the large amount of story points, but a moderate amount of rolling,
Right,
lots
and
of story points, and then also continually assisting each other with good plans and forethought made it a very clean victory.
right, and as I mentioned, the skill upgrades in the game are really called dicey upgrades, and they are you can re-roll something if it's relevant to a field of interest. For example, Suzume is a professional liar, so on skill rolls, attribute rolls that involve lying, Suzume can re-roll, which has the exact effect that we want of shielding you from failure. So I hope that worked out all right.
It definitely did in the process.
Okay,
Yes.
well, excellent. The game is designed to be, like, people watching this, is designed to be very simple so we can get through a lot of elaborate things, from things as drunken boss brawls to dabbling in the supernatural. It's going to be very fast and very easy, and I'm enjoying it so far. So thanks to everybody for that. And we're doing this on the 14th of August. So those of you viewing this in the future, the Kickstarter starts on the 15th of August. Woo!
Woo!
So based on the things we have here, once again, we are licensed and endorsed by Sakai. So the original creator of Usagi Yojimbo. What we're really looking for is there's a lot of different upgrades that we could make to the book to expand it, to add a lot more things people asked for. Things like color or mass distribution or other, maybe more details in the supernatural, because that's becoming a bigger deal in modern issues. As we write this, they're in the Bunraku storyline in Usagi Yojimbo, which is very heavily supernatural. So those of you following the comic. So yeah, so if you guys can pre-order and get a discount, we'd love to have you. So thanks everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks for running.